I'm not making this video to prove that I have friends. This video is brought to you by Warcraft. Recently, I've embarked on a journey of becoming an actual gamer, and I've been doing my damnedest to try to figure this out. Most recently, I played the highest selling video game from the last 40 years, and I learned two very important lessons from making that video. One, don't ever criticize the original Zelda. Everyone over the age of 600 will get mad at you. And two, any game after the year like 1990, you gotta play a minimum of 2 hours before even being able to review the game. First impressions aren't a thing, especially with story games and stuff like that. Like, you really gotta put the hours in order to give a proper review. So I've grabbed 7 friends, and I do have 7 friends, and I'm going to put their gaming prowess to the test. Here goes nothing.
Hey, long hair. Oh, yeah.
What's up, man?
I'm in a castle in Scotland.
This is my friend Marcel. He's a content creator, streamer, actor, model, stud, husband, all around a great guy. But most importantly, he's a gamer. I am playing 5 hours of my friend's favorite video games of all time and ranking them.
I feel like somebody already said Breath of the Wild.
No one has said Breath of the Wild yet.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild is your favorite game?
I mean, I want to say Melee, but I don't think you should just play Melee for 5 hours by yourself.
Yeah, that would suck. Breath of the Wild is a game about fixing a mistake. It's Zelda, the game you play as Link. Now, I don't have much experience with the franchise. The only games that I've played is the original Zelda, which was awesome, by the way. Grandpa, do you hear me? And of course, Ocarina of Time, which I genuinely thought was amazing. This game was on a whole nother level. I spawn in, grab an iPad, and then walk out of the cave to the most beautiful landscape ever. I think that the intro segment is so important in a game, and this one absolutely nailed it. I head down the hill to talk to some guy, I grab an axe, fight a jelly man and a pig thing, and I kept hearing voices from the distance. I wonder who that could be. Immediately, I was impressed with the combat system. Making the enemies drop their weapons mid-fight is pretty unique, and I don't know if all of the Zeldas are like that. The sound design of the game is also incredible. The sounds of picking up and discovering new items are so satisfying. I put the iPad on another podium and boom, it turns into a tower, while also spawning a ton of other towers. An old guy comes to tell me that I've been asleep for 100 years as I look into the distance and see an incredibly awesome and ominous looking dragon Ganon flying around the castle. He also says he'll give me a glider if I do a few tasks, which are hidden in these little things called shrines. Each of these shrines gives me a brand new power. The first one, I can move metal. The second one, I can stop time and create momentum. The third one, I can throw bombs. Circle and square bombs. And the last one, I can stand on water and create pillars of ice. They're all used to help solve a bunch of different puzzles, and there are also some pretty cool intricacies throughout the open world as well. I had to find a way to keep warm in the snow, so I ran with a torch. And then the next time I had to keep warm, I cooked some spicy food. Now, I like the combat system when you are fighting, but I really did not like the durability of all of the weapons. I found it kind of annoying. It felt like you're constantly picking up and breaking different weapons to the point where I was almost anxious to swing what I have. Maybe that's old school of me, but I just didn't love it. After I finished all the tasks, I meet the old man back at the church, and surprise, he's the king of Hyrule. He gives me some backstory with actual voice acting, which I thought was awesome and surprising.
I was King Rome Bosphoramus Hyrule.
Oh, it's King Rome Bosphoramus.
I was
Duh.
the last leader of Hyrule, a kingdom which no longer exists.
Voice acting is so good for this random part. Basically, there are good guys that discovered 4 huge transformers and a shit ton of robot spiders. They took control of them and tried to kill Ganon, but then Ganon hit the Uno reverse card and took over the transformers and the spiders for himself. Then he captured Zelda, put me into a coma, and now I'm awake and it's up to me to destroy these transformers and avoid the spiders. Then I gotta kill Ganon and save Zelda. I mean, at least that's what I got out of it. So then he gives me the Fortnite glider, and an hour and 40 minutes into playing the game, I am finally past the tutorial. See what I'm saying? New games are just too damn long. The open world is really cool. It seems like you can basically play it however you want from this point forward. I climb another tower to open up more of the map. Then I solve a puzzle in a completely different way than my fiance would have, and it shocked her quite a bit. What? How did you get it? Oh, yeah. And then put him down? Climbed up on him? Which I think is pretty cool. The game gives you the tools to play, but you can use those tools however you want to. And I'm sure every playthrough is just a little bit different. I found a market and a horse stable, so I spent about 30 minutes trying to catch a blue horse, which I eventually did. I named him Cheese and continued the journey. Then I found a big-ass talking leaf that needed his maracas back, which of course I helped him with. Now that guy's apparently a big deal because he can help you expand your inventory by helping his little seed friends. When traveling, I made it to my first village and got another cutscene after talking to this old woman in the house. She gave me a little more backstory on Ganon and the robot spiders, but I was honestly more focused on the Zelda music in the background.
And when the hero wielding the sword that seals the darkness delivered his final blow, the princess used her sacred power to seal away Calamity Ganon.
Zelda does really have some good music. After I continue on, I have this really embarrassing moment in a shrine where I don't realize that you can pick up the bombs in order to make the pattern needed to progress, so I'm trying my best to move them around without picking them up. It took me forever, and the moment I realized my mistake, I felt so embarrassed. I'm sure everyone who's played the game has had something similar happen to them, so at least I caught it on video. There's so many elements to keep track of, which is why the game has so much depth. After that, I unlock another tower, run a blue flame up a mountain, and unlock a camera. Overall, this game was incredible. I mean, the fact that this game is the debut, or I believe was the debut game for the Nintendo Switch is crazy, and I'm sure it put immense amount of pressures on all the other developers, because I don't even know if it ever got better than that. You're starting off strong here, Marcel. We'll give it an A. I wanted to ask you what's your favorite video game of all time?
Favorite game of all time? Wait. You know what? Have you ever played War Thunder?
War Thunder is a game about planes, tanks, ships, and a lot more. Do you like games that have intensity? What about fun? Do you like fun? Well, look no further. War Thunder is the game for you. We're talking about the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. There are over 2,500 vehicles in the game, ranging from tanks, helicopters, ship designs from over 10 different nations, airplanes, and everything in between. The vehicles are detailed, the graphics are realistic, the sound design is epic. There are over 95 million players involved in the PvP battles on War Thunder, and you could be joining that fight at just a click of a button. Whether you're on PC, console, or mobile, yes, even mobile. I'm talking about fighter jets on your phone. Personally, I would recommend playing as a tank. I love hopping into the tank, trying to destroy the other tanks. I mean, no offense to the ship and the airplane warfare, because those can be fun too, but I'm more of a tank guy myself. The best part about War Thunder is you don't need any other hardware. You can drive any tank or fly any aircraft with nothing but your mouse and keyboard, or of course your controller, even in simulator mode. There is simply no better game suited for the fans of military history. The best part? It's free. And what's better than free? Use the links that are in the pinned comment or the video description to sign up. New players and those who haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack on PC or consoles that include multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of a premium account. Now that's a ton of stuff, and it's only available for a limited time. So, don't miss out. All in all, I give War Thunder an A+++. 3 pluses for War Thunder.
Hello.
Holy shit! This is my fiance Alexis. Yes, she counts as a friend. She's a body painter, YouTuber, streamer, and all-around talented person. And most importantly, she's a gamer.
I can't even take you serious. What is your favorite video game of all time?
My favorite video game?
Yeah.
Alice.
Alice?
You know, Alice Madness Returns.
Madness Returns is a game about a girl on psychedelics. Okay, I don't know if she's actually on drugs, but it sure does feel like it. I mean, if you guys have ever played this game, you know it. This game's insane. The main music is so creepy and uncomfortable, but it's also kind of nice. The intro to this game is outrageous. Alice in Wonderland is now a goth girl that is trapped by her bad memories and is trying to see a shrink in order to get past them. She wants to go to Wonderland, but she's scared of it, or maybe she can't reach it because of her trauma? I don't really know. And as she's talking to her shrink, which of course is personified as a rabbit in a top hat, he gets decapitated. Blood everywhere, limbs out of the blood water. They rip her face until only her muscles are showing and drowns in the water that is blood. After leaving the nightmare of a therapy session, I follow a cat down an alley until eventually I talk to an old woman on a rooftop that immediately turns into a catfish that attacks me and transports me to Wonderland. Now, as Alice is falling, there's a really cool cutscene and introduction into the crazy universe that is Wonderland. Now, the actual overworld is very mundane, so Wonderland looked very bright and promising and still crazy. After meeting the cat, I tested out the double jump, the shrink mechanic, and I also got a weapon called the Vorpal Blade. I really like the aesthetic of the game. It all feels so airy, a mixture of creepy and head in the clouds type of vibe. The combat is really cool too. You lock on, fight, and as you dodge away from the attacks, you kind of evaporate into little butterflies for a split second. It seems like every little detail was fully thought out when making the game. I come across a big, scary, weird kitchen woman that tells me that I need to collect flying pig noses, and the best way to do that is fire my new pepper grinder gun at them until they sneeze, and then I fly back home. I mean, there is just no way a sober person made this game. It's not possible. The collectibles in this game are teeth. There's a hysteria mode whenever you're on low health, which makes you go kind of like crazy and you become more powerful. As you progress through the game, the real world is intertwined with Wonderland, and you start getting glimpses of why you were traumatized in the first place. You don't know much, but it's something about an orphanage and a fire, a bunch of yelling and confusion. This game was built for spooky bitches. That's priority number one of what they were going for. Let's make a game for spooky bitches, and they did it. The first main mission of the game was to find the Mad Hatter. Well, finding his head, with the goal of going out to find his limbs. On the way to get his arms, I learned that you can use the umbrella to parry throwables. I'm actually extremely surprised in how in-depth the combat system is. You can use your blade, a pepper grinder, you can dodge and parry throwables with an umbrella. And we just started the game. Eventually, I find the Mad Hatter's big-ass arms and return them back to him. And then when I set out to find the legs, I see them running all goofy-like on a gerbil wheel, and I have to solve a few puzzles and then finally get into a pretty intense fight before I can return them back to him. Now, I don't think there are any boss battles in this game, but the group fights can get pretty intense. I was constantly dodging, parrying, trying to find health, and swinging my blade in order to progress through these swarms of enemies. When I finally get the Hatter his legs back, he puts me on his back and we have another acid trip of a cutscene where a rat in a wheelchair summons a huge robot that breaks when it gets hit with a teapot, and then Hatter has a tea party with the dead rat before getting hit by shrapnel and dying himself, and then we drown in a sea of tea. I did play another 2 hours of this game, but let's just sum it up really quick. I get a horse weapon, fight cigar crabs, go to an underwater theater to save burlesque oysters that are eaten by a walrus. This game's insane, but you can tell that it was made with a lot of love and a lot of care. So if you are a spooky bitch, you must play this game. If you're marrying a spooky bitch, just smile and wave. Madness Returns gets a B-.
Oh, God.
What's up, sexual?
Yo, what up, King?
This is my friend Jack. He's a commentator, podcaster, streamer, YouTuber, reactor, org owner, millionaire. Honestly, fuck this guy, dude.
I'm just asking one question. What is your favorite video game of all time?
It's gotta be Halo 3 still.
Halo 3 still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Far ahead of its time, file share, service record, replayable campaigns, skulls, great ranked system. I mean, like, what else can you ask for, bro?
Okay.
Halo 3 is a game about shooting aliens and ignoring the plot. Okay, so this is the only game that is a duplicate from the last video that I made, so in order to make it a little bit tougher or a little bit more unique, I did play the campaign on original console. I didn't play on MCC, I played on Xbox 360. When I launched the game, I took a second to check the file share and matchmaking maps just to get a blast from the past. Obviously nothing worked, but it was just still so nostalgic to go through the menus. It's insane how much this game had to offer all the way back in 2007. I mean, file share, theater, and Forge on an Xbox 360? And people wonder why we talk about the glory days. Before I hopped into the campaign, I also decided to ramp up the difficulty a bit by playing the game on Heroic. I think it took a while to get used to the FOV, the 360 graphics, and the difficulty change because I was dying a lot. But it was also way more fun. It didn't take long until I was hooked again. Like really hooked. Like I almost forgot I was making a video hooked. Master Chief lands on Earth like a meteor and then works with the human army to fight his way through the jungle in order to get back to the base. Cortana is haunting me as I fight, which personally, I have no problem with. I did keep running out of ammo, which has always frustrated me in campaign games, but there's enough loot on the ground to find a way around it. I eventually get to now what I call the Bridge of Death and have several attempts before I eventually seemingly get lucky because one of the big guys hits me with a hammer and flings me to the roof where I get access to a pretty good gun. I fight everyone off and finally get to the base that is under attack. It's up to me to clear the hangar, and after fighting off what I felt like 700 bugs, I run into this guy. Brother. I don't even remember this guy from the last video, but damn was he difficult. You have to take down all of his big friends and then run around behind him in order to dodge his big hammer. Probably should have phrased that differently. I finally figured out a system and kept it moving. As I escorted the Marines to the Pelican, I continued to have a lot of fun and was fully immersed into the game. I mean, the gunplay is amazing. The graphics were incredible for its time, and I'm playing on 360. And the music, I mean, damn, the music. I think it truly is a perfect game. After finishing up the mission, I switched over to multiplayer on MCC. I mean, I'm not gonna deprive myself of a good time and only play the campaign. Might be a hot take, but I think as far as arena shooters or arcade shooters are concerned, Halo 3 might be the best one ever. The fights are all intense. The team fighting is so important, and then to top it all off, you have power weapons, which can totally change the game if they're used right. I had an insane game on Pit with the sniper, and the rush that you get from these moments, I mean, wow. Time was flying by, and I was only playing social games. I even ended the session with a 49-49 Slayer where your boy had to go crazy, dog. I went crazy. I think this game is as close as you can get to perfect. I mean, it's Halo 3, man. So, A+.
What's up, man?
This is my friend Chandler. Okay, well, I've only met him once in person, but we could still be friends. We're still friends. He's a content creator, he's a YouTube icon, and most importantly, he's a gamer.
All right, I have a question. I want to know what your favorite video game of all time is.
Oh man, that's tough. I don't even know if you're gonna know this, man.
I'll play. Yeah, I want to know though. That's a good. I like where your head's at.
Right. It's called Toontown. It's this old Disney game that I used to play on the computer when I was younger.
Can you still play it?
Yeah, they remade it.
Toontown is a game about standing up to the man. Now, I had no idea what game Chandler was going to say, but you probably could have given me 300 guesses, and I never would have said Toontown. But here goes nothing. Okay, so I've never played a game like this. I never played RuneScape or Club Penguin or anything like that, but this game was a shock to me. The music sounds like you were waiting in a line at Disneyland. I created my character, which of course is a purple mouse named Curly Fiddlebutter, and I learned that the premise of this game is really cogs versus toons. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Hitch, what are cogs? I'm glad you asked. They're businessmen, people in business. Yep, we are fighting corporate America. But Hitch, how are we fighting these businessmen? Another great question. The answer, we prank them. With squirt guns, we throw pies at them, we give them whoopee cushions. We're fighting businessmen with pranks. Obviously, growing up, I had heard of Toontown, but I was actually shocked when I learned what the premise of the game was about. It's actually pretty hilarious. It's funny getting into a battle with one of these business guys because the combat is kind of like Pokemon, but instead of fireball and water gun, you're using squirt guns and cream pies. The first task I had was to make a friend. So I did a drive-by friend request to Mr. Brightside and then was teleported to a house. Whose house is this? Another great question. It's mine. You have the open world area where you can fish, buy stuff, fight businessmen, play minigames, and more. And then you also have your neighborhood where I assume you and your friends can all live and hang out. Obviously, you can upgrade and decorate your house and the area around it. But what I loved most about my house is it was quiet. I mean, the music in this game doesn't stop. It's constantly there. It's always on, and it's so happy. I got into a battle with some more cogs, and I'm saved by a guy named Zoinks. Shout out Zoinks, man. And then I'm super saved by Coral Duck. I like the camaraderie of the game. It's all of us versus the man. The funniest part that I forgot to mention about the combat is what the cogs use as their attacks. Obviously, we are armed with squirt guns and pastries. Well, their counter seems to be stereotypical, boring business terms. Watch out, they might hit you with an audit, or a demotion, or a pink slip. If you wonder why our generation is so stubborn, we were literally taught to hate this stuff from day one. In order to refill your pranks, you have to play a couple mini games, which are actually pretty fun. My favorite one is where you swim to the bottom of the ocean to collect some treasure while trying not to get hit by fish. And you are racing against the other toons with you. There are also just casual mini games as well that I assume that you can play with your friends. I tried mini golfing, which wasn't half bad. In order to progress through the game, you are hit with a swarm of never-ending tasks, and almost all of the tasks are in the area where the businessmen are, so you're trying to avoid them while running around. The fights can also become double fights, where you can get teamed up on by the suits pretty easily. At one point, pretty deep into playing, I see what I can only assume is a late-game dungeon. I mean, it is a gigantic office with very evil eyes. The music completely shifted, which I actually didn't mind very much. And you needed 100 laugh points in order to enter it, which I don't know if you know this, but that's a lot of laugh points. The map is gigantic. At one point, I realized that every single door that I'm passing is accessible. At first, I thought it was all like aesthetic. Nope. The map is huge. After completing a decent amount of tasks, I find some peace and quiet at my home by gardening, moving my furniture around a bit, and buying a new shirt. Now, obviously, I don't have the nostalgia bone required to have heart eyes while playing this game, but I can see how it would be fun growing up. And hey, I'm always down to mess with some grumpy businessmen whenever the opportunity presents itself. C-.
Hey.
Hey, Mama.
Hi.
How are you?
This is my mom. She counts as a friend. It counts as a friend. She's a beach enjoyer, she's a great singer, and she's a retired teacher. But most importantly, she is not.
I'm doing a video where I'm playing everyone's favorite video games of all time.
Okay.
So what, if somebody were to ask you what your favorite video game of all time is, what would you say?
The only game I've ever played.
Which is
Tetris.
what? Tetris? That's what I thought you were going to say.
Did you guess that?
Yes, I figured you were going to say that.
It's the only game I've ever played.
Okay.
Well, let me say, the only game I've ever had any type of success playing. Oh, you're playing some Tetris? So
Yeah.
are you, like, is this going to go on any kind of video?
Yeah, it'll go on a video.
Great. Okay.
It'll go on a video.
Tetris is a game about blocks. The original game about blocks. In 1985, in the great state, the beautiful state of Soviet Russia, Tetris was born. And here we are 40 years later, and it's still thriving. In fact, there have been over 220 different versions of Tetris made on 60 different platforms. In fact, I remember getting in trouble in my high school English class for playing Tetris on my iPod Nano. If it has a screen, I can almost guarantee you that it has had Tetris. No, I'm definitely not new to Tetris at all. I've gone through some random moments in my life where I loved playing the game and became addicted, mostly during high school English class on my iPod Nano. To really get some hours in for this video, I decided to go way back to the days when people were riding horses, playing the original Zelda, and watching the Cowboys win playoff games to play the original 1989 release of Tetris. For a game as simple as Tetris, I thought the game couldn't have changed too much, which obviously at the base of it all, it really hasn't. There are 7 different blocks, and you got to be able to navigate them accordingly so they stack up evenly, and hopefully, if it all goes correctly, you get the highly sought after vertical block to fill that gap and knock out 4 lines all at once, which of course is called a Tetris. This version can't really be critiqued too much because it's the game that started a 40-year dominance, but you can definitely feel the date on it. The music is nice and it picks up and slows down depending on how many lines you have knocked out. The only real quality of life setbacks that I notice is that you can't instantly drop the blocks. And also there isn't an option to hold a block, which is the only way that I knew how to play. I don't know if it was a direct result of not being able to hold or not, but my first game on, I was getting shafted. I feel like I was playing well, but I never got the vertical blocks when I needed them. I ended up just losing. After a few more attempts, I got a high score for a pretty good run, and I was met with a victory screen. It had a factory and a mosque that looked pretty nice, but I have no idea what that had to do with Tetris. After that, I decided to go from the first release of Tetris to one of the most recent releases in Tetris Effect. Now, I've played this game in VR before, and it was one of the coolest games that I have ever played. If you're wondering how you can take a game about lining up blocks and continue to improve it for 40 plus years, this is how. Truly, guys, if you have a VR headset, you must play Tetris Effect on it. I played a lot of different games throughout this video. Some I had to lock in for. Some I had to use my brain for. Toontown. I don't really know what I had to do to play Toontown. But this game, I just caught myself smiling, like straight cheesing. Look at me. It's such an experience. Even though I was on the desktop version, I still found myself getting lost in the music and the atmosphere of the game. Tetris is awesome. Tetris Effect is amazing. Great pick, Mom. Overall, I give Tetris a B.
What's up, brother?
What up, man? How you doing?
Just grilling, you know? Being domesticated.
This is my friend Brandon. We grew up playing soccer and music together. He's a salesman, a soccer player, and also one time he got into a fight with Sergio Aguero. But most importantly, he is not a gamer.
All right, I gotta ask you a question. What is your favorite video game of all time?
My favorite video game of all time.
Hey, ask him if he can get the YouTube video.
Anyway,
I can tell you're home.
favorite video game of all time. Let's go FIFA, I guess.
What year?
Let's just go 14.
All right, we'll go 14. We'll go 14.
FIFA is a game about soccer, which is a term that was invented by the English in the 19th century in order to distinguish rugby football from association football, but over time, the people of Britain have dropped the term and now get mad at America for saying it even though they invented the term in the first place.
Oh, shut up, you tart.
Now, I already knew Brandon was going to say FIFA. He's not much of a gamer, but he likes FIFA. But it was just a matter of which one he was going to pick. Of course, he picks a release that I can't buy on PS5 or PC, so I had to pull out the PS4 from the top of my bedroom closet. Full transparency, I was fully expecting FIFA to get the worst rating on the list, and I knew Brandon could handle it, so that's why I called him. I'm not a huge fan of sports games. I know there are ways to get better and practice, but for me, it's always felt like I control one guy out of 20 people on the court, field, or rink, or whatever it is. And all the rest is just AI that does what it wants, and I blame them a lot. I do like sports a lot, but I've never loved sports games. But here goes nothing.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
I load up FIFA 14 and it immediately throws me into the Classico in order to get my bearings. Bro, look at these rosters. I mean, what? I haven't played FIFA in a long time, and you can tell after I concede a goal in the 8th minute.
No! Oh, well, that's a real blow for them, Alan. They were on target.
I come back and tie it in the 21st, so I thought that maybe I would get some momentum, but no. I lost the tutorial game. I lost it 3-1. But no need to fear. I will be getting my revenge on Real Madrid. It was a little rough. This is the only game in this entire video that had me legitimately raging. I decided to check out the rest of the game. A big part of this game was leaning on the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, which I thought was awesome. I looked for the US team there and couldn't find them, which I thought was weird because we beat Portugal 2-2 that year. I decided to play an international game from the World Cup section, so here we go. Brazil versus Ecuador. Now there's a mini game segment during the loading portion of each match, so I was hopefully going to use that to get better, but I was horrible. The Brazil squad is dangerous. I mean, I was playing pretty smooth throughout the game, but I also think it was because I was on easier difficulty setting. Now I only won by 2, but I was starting to have fun. Maybe it's a fluke. Let's try another game. I decided to go back to club ball for the next match, and this time I was cosplaying as a beans for breakfast eating British person. Chelsea versus Manchester United. This time I did way better in the minigame, but it was also a lot easier. I scored in the first 3 minutes with Eto'o and just assumed that I was going to slam the rest of the game, but the next 87 minutes consisted of 0 goals. Now it was time to play as the best soccer team on the entire planet, the United States of America. I obviously loaded up versus Mexico, and again, really was sucking it up in the minigame, but I did clutch at the end. I did a little bit of roster and formation changing so that I could get Landon Donovan's dweeby ass in the game, and man, did that pay off. Okay, at this point, I was having fun. Like, dare I say, I was having a blast. I was celebrating every goal like I was kicking the ball in real life. I don't know if it was the game or the nostalgia of the rosters or just loving soccer in general, but I was having a lot of fun. Now it was time to get revenge on the evil that is Real Madrid. I hop back into the Classico and this time get a mini game that's based off of free kicks, which That shouldn't be too much of an issue, right? I mean, how often are free kicks really taken in the video game FIFA? Not often, right? There were so many chances to score this game, but they all came up short. Eventually, Pinaldo strikes. I mean, even in this game, the refs treat him differently. It's insane. But, of course, Messi is there to answer. Which means we're tied 1-1 at the end of the game and at the end of extra time, which means penalty kicks. What can I say? I was not planning on having fun, but I had fun. I mean, let freedom ring and Visca Barca. B-.
What's up? Why did you answer like that?
This is my friend Seth. He's a retired professional Call of Duty player. He's a streamer, YouTuber, podcaster, entrepreneur, watch partier. Okay, you get it. It's scum. And obviously, he's a gamer.
I'm doing a video where I'm asking people what their favorite video game of all time is, so I was just wanting to know what yours is.
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. Okay, I'll get it done.
Wait, what do you mean you'll get it done?
I'm gonna go play it for 5 hours.
Fuck yeah, enjoy, best game ever.
World of Warcraft is a game about the good guys versus the Horde. So surprise, surprise, I've never played World of Warcraft. In fact, I never thought that I would be loading up this game to begin with, like ever in my life. When I think Warcraft, I think basement and thick glasses and pocket protectors and throwing a baseball like this. But obviously it's gotta be a great game. It's been around since 2004. I load in to pick my character and realize that there are several different options to choose from. There's 2 different teams, I guess, and many different options from either of those teams. I end up choosing a bikini woman with arrows that also turns into a panther sometimes. I think the correct term is an Alliance Night Elf Druid. To go from playing soccer to playing this is very different. I spawned onto a boat to learn the controls and the combat system for a little bit, which was unlike any other game that I had ever played. I get a pretty cool cutscene of our ship crashing onto an island, which I can only assume is the introduction island to the game. I continue to run around a little bit to get my bearings with the combat and the looting and the overall controls of the game. I pretty much just start running quest to quest, which is fairly easy to understand. There's a little bit of world building and some character building, which kept me entertained for sure. I tore through some camps. I met a guy that gave me a Fortnite glider thing. I scouted a village that was trying to resurrect a dragon, so obviously I can't allow that to happen. I turned a pig into a giant, and then I rode it through the village, killing everyone. Stopped the dragon from being revived and upgraded my armor. The rest of the first island really involved completing a couple of different quests and missions. By the end of it all, I was able to turn into a panther, a bear, and a deer, each one with different attacks and advantages. At one point, I turned into an ogre to infiltrate a base of other ogres, and eventually I was thrown into what I believe is like a raid tutorial. Myself and my NPC friends, we go through like a castle, which dungeon type thing, and kill a bunch of big ogres, eventually get to the top, where there's a big, gigantic ogre. We kill him, and then he actually turned himself into a dragon, and then we had to kill that. This whole thing is very foreign to me, but I will say I was having a lot of fun. I hop on a bird to fly away and find myself heading to Stormwind City, which I assume is like home base for the Alliance. I watched a lot of cutscenes, which are actually pretty awesome. They're epic too, and sometimes they can be kind of funny. I didn't realize that I had to buy a subscription in order to play the game.
Man, I gotta fucking buy this shit.
After spending more money, I explored the city a bit, which is massive. And then I checked the map to see exactly how big the world is, and I think it broke my brain. I couldn't even wrap my head around what I was looking at. After a few minutes of exploring, I activated a campaign mission with some dragon people and waited for a ship to head to the Dragon Isles. I also discovered my spellbook, specializations, and also talents. I mean, there is so much shit in this game. It's incredibly intricate. The cutscenes are way better than I thought they were going to be. The voice acting and the animations are really cool. The story is confusing, but I'm sure I'll eventually catch up. As I explore around the next area, I start really getting the hang of the fighting system. Like, it started feeling a little less foreign every single fight, although I did die a couple of times, but the way that you respawn is actually kind of cool. You turn into a little fairy-looking thing from Peter Pan and find your dead body in order to come back. Eventually, I save a dragon egg, give it to some dragon people, and then fly back to their base. I learn how to fly by becoming a cute little baby dragon, and then eventually I'm able to get my own dragon. I've kind of felt like I was in Avatar, the blue one, not the cartoon. Now, once I had my own dragon, the game felt like it completely opened up. I did a few races and some minigame fights. Walking for me was completely ruined at this point. I just wanted to fly everywhere. Now, it's at this point in the game where I really lock in. I was having fun up to this point, but this was the part that really sold it for me. An evil dragon attacks our home, so it's up to us to defend it. Then, it's a war. I mean, it felt like an all-out war. Like, I felt like I was in Lord of the Rings or something. The cutscenes were epic. There was literally like a 30-minute battle of trying to hold them all off, and time was just flying by. I hadn't really gotten that moment of immersion up to this point, but I was all in during this fight. I was attacking, linking up with other friends, turning into panthers, flying on a dragon, slaying other dragons. This was really the only time that I saw other players on the map, and it was always a relief to see them because sometimes I really needed the help. I mean, I was pretty damn locked in. When I finally finished the fight, I was able to take a deep breath while there was like this huge cutscene where another dragon comes to the rescue. I was amped, man. I mean, like 5 hours on this game completely flew by. I know I didn't get to like the multiplayer aspect of the game, which is the whole point, but I did have a lot of fun with what I did play. Seth said he's played this game his entire life, and I can kind of understand why. We'll give it a B+. I just want to reiterate that this video was not made to prove that I have friends. It was simply made to prove that I'm becoming a real gamer. Thank you so much to War Thunder for sponsoring this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Again, thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to play it for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile now by using the links in the pinned comment or video description. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across PC and consoles, including multiple premium vehicles and other goodies. Available for a limited time, so make sure not to miss out.